Hi friends, I'm Kumkum from Eisenbridge. I'm an agile enthusiast, and last couple of months I'm discussing a lot of things, lot of interaction happening around the business agility. And you can see the current COVID situation is also making people think about business agility. So I thought let's understand this whole concept from the expert. Hi Saket, thanks for
Hi,
joining the session.
hi, thank you.
How are you?
Good, good, good. Yeah, looking forward to
Great.
talk about business agility with you. Yeah,
Yeah. So, Saket, we are noticing this thing. It's this whole, discussion regarding the business agility. It's increasing day by day. So, if I want to understand from the layman point of view, what is this business agility?
sure. So there are various ways to look at it. There are definitions. There are some various body of knowledge which defines business agility. But in a basic sense, it's an ability to inspect and adapt at an organization level. So when we were looking at agility, many times it was more talked like a team's ability to inspect and adapt. Now, what we are saying is how an org can inspect and adapt at a regular intervals. Now, when we talk about inspect and adapt, it is also looking for opportunities, the way team looks for better way of doing things, the way team looks for better way of identifying needs, customer needs, so that they can serve them better. The same thing done at an organization level. So it is like inspecting and adapting your own business model, how the organization is doing business, and then finding out how can we improve. Yeah. So in a way, it's an inspect and adapt at an org level. Now there could be a further understanding or further classification to look into what are we inspecting and adapting on. So we are inspecting and adapting on a complete business model, the way organization is designed, the way people think in the organization, the way you have a culture in your organization, the type of product you are making, the type of technology you are using, the type of or a segment of a customer you are serving, the channel of delivery you are using, say face-to-face channel, digital channel. So these all things which are looked into at a regular interval or continuously, and then you adapt to the changing market needs.
Okay, thanks. Thank you very much for sharing this. So, okay, it's a adapt and change at organization level. So, how it's helping the individual professionals? How it's supporting their career?
Okay, so see, the idea here is, uh, see, when I am looking for contributing value for an organization, I need to see how can I help organization in moving to a skill which will make them relevant in the upcoming future. Now, incidentally, good amount of organization work, or you can say a good amount of organization design, is around software systems. Because in the current environment, whatever people are doing, whatever organizations are doing, the systems, the software plays a very critical role. And many of the people who were into IT profession, they were primarily working on improving those systems, delivering working solution, and engaging with the stakeholders. Now, since the software plays a critical role, many of the coaches and consultants also aspiring that can we use our expertise which we had while developing large system to enable organization to inspect and adapt at a greater at a bigger level. So this is an opportunity, and at the different time, at the different side, you see organization also needs this skill because they can't keep doing what they have been doing. The competition is changing, the customer needs are changing, and the technology is changing, so everything is too dynamic across in the environment. So organization is looking that we need to have some sense to adapt to this thing, and successful organizations are anyway doing. They may not use the word business agility, but they do have their mechanism of doing it. So there is a need. The successful organizations are doing it. Who are unable to do, they are finding a ways to do it. They are exploring, and there is a skill which exists in many consultants and coaches who were working in the process part of the organization or the software development, and they see that okay, if we achieve some more skill, in towards helping organizational agility, then it opens up a business opportunity for them. It's open up a, I would say, professional service opportunity for them rather than a business opportunity for them, because they can help the organization as well as along with that they can help themselves.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So I'm just, thinking about this thing. So what skill we need if we want to become a business agility coach in the organization? So what skill we do need?
Sure. So before we talk about skill, we need to understand what is needed, like how can one enable the business agility? And then I need to explore in the process of enabling business agility, how I can contribute into it. So that's like a way we need to see. So as an individual, as a professional, I need to see, okay, we understand, inspect and adapt and everything, how it happens, how it really happens. So there could be multiple dimensions. There are different business agility models who are looking at different dimensions. In a simple sense, we can say there are internal dimensions and there are external dimensions. So how organization has a internal capability which can make them quickly adapt to the external changes, and how organization has a vision and strategy which can keep them ahead than the external competitors. How can I keep thinking about something which others have not yet thought about? So these are the two kind of things. So the external thing goes into the having an idea about strategies, creating a culture and investing into something which are not yet matured. So the external part is quite aligned with strategic exploration and managing the portfolio of the product, which has a good element of futuristic development. It is not only focusing on the current need. So that's an external approach of an organization, in the strategic dimension of the organization. Now we come to an internal space. So internal space is how can we really do the work? So technical agility or whatever you are doing, whatever work you are doing, you do need to have good process excellence. If you are doing technology work, so you should be able to do that part. How quickly our people can change their ways of working. So their mindset, their learning and attitude of exploring something new. So that part is little soft in nature, but that exists. And then you look into various product dimensions that, okay, how our product and market focus can keep evolving, which has a external, internal elements to it, and how my team can understand the changing market need, and how can we also strategize which direction we want to go to. So in a simple way, this is whole thing which comes together. There is an element of leadership, there is an element of organization design and redesign, and if organization has this capability, they can achieve a strength which can make them capable of looking something which others are unable to look, and also adapting to something which is obvious, which is opportunity available in the in the environment. Now, as a person, if I am a coach and consultant, how much I know about all these dimensions, how much can I relate to them, how much I can guide my clients towards that particular direction. I may not have a kind of a super expertise in it, but I can coach them towards it. So there will be a good amount of coaching element here, because the business people who are running the current business must, in majority of time, may have more insight about business than the coach. So the individual needs to develop their good sense of coaching skills so that they can influence people by just asking powerful questions and give them a structure so that people can move forward. The another thing is the person should also speak the business language. So they should be able to understand what is the strategy. They should have a good understanding of internal processes. They should have a good understanding of organization design, things like lean startup cycles, things like strategizing. So there could be multiple tools like Blue Ocean strategies and all. So they have a good insight of overall business side. Now, if I focus on the agile coaches, I believe they had already a good skills towards internal side, the system sides, like doing value stream mapping, identifying waste and that part of it. What they need to study more is towards business and product. So in a simple way, we can say that they need to understand more the product management part of it, They need to understand more the strategic part of it, so that they can understand customer requirement, they can understand customer pain, they can empathize with them and ask more relevant and powerful question. I don't expect the business agility coach will be expert in business than their client. Yeah, usually the client will have more expertise, but this guy is expert in making client think in the business domain space. Yeah.
Awesome, Saket. Awesome. I think the way you explained this thing, I mean, I've never found this kind of content anywhere else. So in the beginning of this year, I was looking for some information on business agility, but somehow there's not much content available on the internet. So as I can see, there are a good amount of emphasis on the changing market understanding. So the current situation, I think, I mean, the market demands is changing every day in the COVID situation. So what do you think, what do you suggest? It's a good time to learn this business agility?
Yeah, so there are two things. One thing is that, one has to anyway need to have a skill to respond to the crisis. That's a one thing. And the another skill is that I need to have something so that I remain ahead of the crisis. So now there are many organizations, many individuals who are responding to the current crisis by way of doing something. Yeah. And some of them are able to do it. Some of them took time and now they are able to do it. Now, is it a business agility? I would say at some extent, but not at a larger extent. The larger extent would be that you were ready for these a lot of other business models already. And when the opportunity came and the environmental changed, you adapted to it quite fast. So you had a seed before the crisis, and the crisis just you focus in that particular dimension more, and then you grow on it. But if you are seeding towards this crisis, it's still better than not doing anything. But it is something like, okay, I am in a situation and I am inspecting and adapting and changing it. In a different way, the current situation is also forcing people to adapt because there is no option. If you don't adapt, you don't have a business at all. So it's like this, that when you don't have a business at all, you need to change your business model or you go out of the market. Yeah. So in a way, this is a time-bound agility. Now, what is a risk? If people remain limited to responding to this particular crisis, they limit their future growth because it was just an event which will not come again and again. And if you develop an attitude of looking for new business ways, then you go little far, you go further far in serving your customers. I keep giving this example of a restaurant. So restaurant who were serving the in-dine thing, now because of COVID, they are forced to do a home delivery. So in a way, their whole business model got changed. Now, some of them are capable of doing it. Some of them are still taking time, and some of them may not be able to do it and they may get closed. Now, but there were few restaurants who were already having 10-20% of their model or their sale, which was based on home delivery. And as soon as this situation came up, they just scaled that part. So for the organization for a restaurant who was already thinking of that, looks like the home delivery makes sense in the changing customer preferences, and I want to adapt with it, and I have this path ready. Yeah, it was 20% before, now it became 100%, but there was 20%. For some, it was like from 0 to 100, and the people who go from 0 to 100, they may miss looking the new trend, because after some time there will be another preference change, another customer attitude change will be there in the market, and the people who were already sensing it, they are the only one who can sense it. So yes, in a way, it forces you to be agile. No, in a way that don't limit this attitude only to the crisis situation. Have this attitude on a regular basis, and that looks like a long-term business agility for an organization.
Makes sense. I can understand that completely. Thank you very much for this explanation. So next thing, I just want to understand the IC Agile. They have also, launched their IC Agile Business Agility Foundation certification. So what is this certification all about?
Yeah. So what ICGL is doing right now, they have kind of divided their complete offering into two categories. One offering they are saying delivery category, and another category they are saying business agility category. And under the business agility category, they will have more and more elements as things will emerge. As of now, there are few certificates which are already there, few learning paths which are already there. And the Business Agility Foundation, in my view, is something is a good path to get started with understanding what is business agility. Now, I want to bring this fact to all of you. See, ICGL certification program and the delivery content may vary from provider to provider. So when I am talking about the program which we are delivering, I am more focusing and I am talking about something which we cover. Because the way ICGL is organized, they give you a content outline, and then the provider finds their own way to focus on the area which they like more. So there is a possibility that some of the areas which we are focusing at a deeper extent, other provider may not be focusing at that extent, and still they may qualify for the same certificate. So when I talk about our program, which we have designed for ICGL Business Agility Foundation, we focus on developing the business, or I say a business model mindset, which in my view is something is needed in our current existing coaches. So the program which we have designed is, it provides enough seeds to the people who are into coaching and consulting business to get to know that what are the things which they need to focus if they want to take this journey forward at an org level. And I also get many people who are already doing business consulting, but they have never done organizational transformation and that kind of work. Yeah. So they have never worked on organization design space, but they have been primarily helping organization to increase their sales, identifying their bottlenecks, primarily towards sales and marketing space. So there's a business consultant space is a quite established space. There are consulting groups who focuses on those kind of supply chain and business kind of a problem. So the people who are coming from business domain, in a simple language, you can say product management and customer centricity domain, they end up learning about the other change management and flow and operational frameworks, which can make them empathize with, okay, this is how the execution and the process part will gets done. So in a way, and these are the type of, because I think we have been running this program for more than 6 months now, and these are the type of people which are coming, and I feel that's the right customer segment for the Business Agility Foundation program.
Okay, great. Thank you, Saket, for this answer. So another thing I was thinking, SAFe also added the business agility recently. So and you're teaching this ICGL. So how the difference between these two?
Perfect. So like I also teach SAFe, and I think the SAFe version 5 and I think more than 6 months now is also giving good amount of stress on business agility. And I would say that kind of is also endorsement of that this trend may really go up. Yeah. So because a lot of large frameworks are also looking, even Disciplined Agile Delivery also talks about business agility now. So a lot of large frameworks are talking about business agility. Now, the way I see it, see Agile. So there is an Agile, and Agile exists in Scrum, Agile exists in SAFe. Yeah. So, but Agile is Agile. So similarly, there is a business agility, and business agility exists in SAFe, and it exists in other places as well. So the idea here is the SAFe way of looking at a business agility is a kind of, I would say, is a well-crafted way which integrates well with the framework. Say like, and that is how we tell that you have an Agile, but you may miss how to do Agile or how to be Agile. A framework helps you to get that done. So the SAFe, the various dimensions of the frameworks and how they supports and integrate well in order to achieve business agility that is what is covered in SAFe. So they have a good lean portfolio space, they have their own product delivery space, technical delivery space, and the organization culture and other part is little soft in nature, the mindset and organization culture, which is again a kind of a directional in sense. So it tells how to integrate various components of your organization with the help of scaled agile framework to achieve business agility. Now, people and organization, not 100% organization will use SAFe for business for their own framework, but they may need a business agility. If there is a company of 50 people, the organization size is 50 people, they also need a business agility, and the way they need an agile. But if the company is a size of a 50, they may not need SAFe way of doing agile because they are too small for that framework, but they do need agile. Similarly, so there is a company of 50 people, which they need an agile, and they need to understand the foundations of business agility, and they may come up with their own building block. So I would say the SAFe gives you a ready-made building block as a framework which enables business agility. And when we learn in IC Agile BEF program, we are not giving a framework for an organization. That's not the objective of the program. It tells you what matters and how possibly one can create framework by putting their own context and by putting their own thought process into it. So that's how I can say that both are there for business agility, and both are looking a different problem in a way and serving the customer base. Yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful explanation, Saket. Thank you. And one more thing, I was just thinking this question definitely helped the professionals. So what is the learning path for a business agility coach?
That's interesting. And I would say that everybody will have their own path. Having said that, I would say that if I just start from a Scrum Master kind of profile, because many of the audience are coming from a Scrum and all. So I would say many of the Agile coaches are coming from a Scrum Master side, like they have been doing facilitating and coaching the development team, and they had some insights about technology. Now, when you want to coach the business, you also need to develop the product owner side. So you need to understand the product, customer centricity, empathizing with the customer, and how do you create an environment where people develop a mindset of customer centricity? How do you discover the new business segment? So a lot of things which the product management or product ownership was doing. A good business agility coach needs to develop the skill in those dimensions as well. So that's like a thing that you may have I think a technical agility skill where you can understand and facilitate and make the teams agile. Now you need to understand the product agility and the business domain agility skills with the help of good amount of product knowledge. Now, other than that, there are good amount of culture and I would say organization redesign and system thinking level skills, which might be already there when you were working as an agile coach, because that kind of work is anyway needed to bring a bigger impact in an organization or in any coaching engagement. So those skills will continue and you can apply here as well. So if I just summarize with the help of name of some books, just to give an indication what kind of things may be needed. So the people who are coming from a Scrum Master space and all, they may need to learn more about business books. So they need to understand about strategies and marketing. So things like Tipping Point, things like Blue Ocean strategy, things like Lean Startup. So this is kind of a mindset they end up developing. People who are coming from a business side and they are developing a system thinking or a design mindset, they may look into books and concepts like Fifth Discipline and understanding the product development flow. So it's more about how the things get designed and Lean and Kanban and Scrum. So those kind of stuff, which helps them to understand a little execution part of it. So see the dimensions and look at the whole org structure. So when we say business agility, in a simple word, you can think of business models agility. And how do I understand a business model? One can look at a business model canvas. It has pretty standard questions and you see, okay, these questions helps me to understand the business model. Now, how much insight I have in these questions in a real sense, and how can I help people to adapt to in these dimensions? That's the path one has to come up with. Yeah. So it's a good way to start. I don't say that this is the only way to start. There could be alternate ways as well. But yeah, I would say, one line, look at a business model, understand develop an understanding of a business model, dimension of a business model, and that can help you to coach and consult organization on business agility. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So, Saket, I've noticed one thing. Twice you used the blue ocean, red ocean strategy. So, could you please give some insight about this?
It's a book. It's a book, and you can find more detail on the website. They have a good amount of free resources available on the website, and they run some programs as well. So, a sense, in a simpler word, is when you are in a perfect competition space, and that is, we call it red ocean, where in a simple word you can think of where supply is more than the demand, and people are thinking of the pie is fixed. The consumer market is fixed, and we are just thinking of how do we serve and get a better piece out of this market size. And in that kind of a market size, usually you have very stiff competition, and the price becomes the main factor. So people just talk about price and try to take it at a level. So this market is a red ocean market. Now, many of us might be, and some of our products in any organization might be lying in that segment, where you are always struggling with the competition and all. Now, there's a blue ocean. In a way, it looks into is an area which is little like not so crowded, or maybe nobody wants to serve there. Now, why it is not crowded? Because it is little unexplored. It requires some creativity, So not everybody wants to go there because it looks risky. Yeah? It's too far. Yeah, but people who can develop a skill to reach there, that market is also not yet served. So you make the competition irrelevant when you reach into that particular market space. So when organizations are looking for their future direction, this is another one way of looking at business agility space, is that we need to find out what kind of our product, or how can we take our current product and services into a blue ocean space by way of bringing something which is not offered by others, but which is needed by customer. You can't just dream about that we will give this, that until unless your customer desperately needs it. So there is an unmet need which you start meeting at a level where others can't even compete with you, and then you create a separate space. So as a strategy, it's a small thing, but the main game is, how do you really know there is an unmet need? How do you create that competitive advantage? And that part is a kind of a joint process where a consultant as well as the people who are in business can come together and come with the plan.
Awesome, awesome, beautiful. I mean, I really like this. So thank you very much, Saket, for sharing all these information with us, and thank you very much for taking out time for this session. So anything, the last comments, last suggestions which you like to know us?
Yeah, so my final suggestion would be that if you want to speed up the understanding of business agility and want to increase some credential and I think credibility in your profile, you may consider exploring the ICHL Business Agility Foundation program. It's a good starting point, which gives you enough seed to explore for your next path. The way our program has been designed, it covers good amount of insightful discussions, content in all these directions. And I would say that they are good starting point. I won't say that they makes you expert in it, but they shows you a good path. And we do it, it's a spread across, it's spread across 4 weeks. It gives you enough time. We do a case study. We work with you, make you do a roadmap planning for your business agility for a given context. We make people look at it, provide feedbacks, and all those things, especially in a good group setting. And usually we get the participants who are coming from a different way of life, so that the dynamics in the class also helps you a lot to understand this area in deeper sense. So that's an opportunity. Some of you who are looking to speed up your journey may wanna opt for it.
Cool. Thank you very much. And guys, if you like to join the session of Business Agility, you can connect me. I am Kumkum Sharma. My email address is ksharma@izenbridge.com, and I'll help you to join the session. Thank you very much. Thank you, Saket.
Thank you.